Welcome to the Pursuit of Perpetrators channel, where I unravel the veiled tales of cryptic crimes. He's been described as narcissistic, merciless, unpredictable, impetuous, and seemingly devoid of any moral compass. These aren't merely words thrown around by his adversaries in the criminal world to describe the subject of this video. Instead, these are the deliberate choices of words by highly trained and seasoned psychologists and psychiatrists. Many from the criminal underbelly concur. He's both feared and respected, prompting others to tread carefully when speaking of him, and for good reason, given the gravity of crimes he's implicated in. His association with one of the globe's most formidable crime syndicates undoubtedly adds to his notoriety. But what led a once minor offender in Amsterdam to become intertwined with the Kinahan family? This tale unfolds the life of Naoufal Fassih, also known to some as Noffel or Belly, due to his distinct stance. Born in Rotterdam, the Netherlands, on September 9, 1980, he was raised in the bustling environs of Amsterdam. Noffel, or Naoufal as some call him, was a student at Pursuit School in Amstelveen, just outside Amsterdam, from 1991 to 1996. Pursuit School catered to students facing significant challenges. From a young age, Naoufal, or Noffel, was known for his sudden fits of rage and aggressive outbursts. Life didn't offer him an easy path. Between 2002 and 2012, Noffel found himself confined within a forensic psychiatric facility following a notably dangerous and violent heist in Belmer, Amsterdam. The primary aim of such a center is the rehabilitation of its inmates, endeavoring to reintegrate them into society as individuals better than they were prior. As time progressed, Noffel carved out a reputation for himself as a formidable figure within Amsterdam's criminal depths. His presence almost took on a legendary quality. Reminiscent of his younger years, he retained his unpredictability and could quickly escalate into aggression. By forging alliances across various criminal factions in Amsterdam, he cemented his place at the apex of the underworld. Despite multiple arrests, his identity remained a mystery to those outside the criminal circles. It wasn't until late 2012 that Noffel, known as Noffel, began to gain some notoriety in the Dutch press. This attention stemmed from an incident at the Dostatski Ellenberta, amid an escalating feud within the criminal underworld. The person targeted in this altercation miraculously survived and pointed to Noffel as one of the assailants during a discussion with the lead detective. He shared some astonishing details about Noffel, cautioning that the authorities were greatly underestimating him. He claimed Noffel was responsible for numerous unsolved crimes, saying, "If he's behind a hit, he leaves no evidence." There was even a time he targeted someone's leg, and right after being released from jail, he targeted the same leg again. To call him a psychopath is an understatement. Despite the gravity of these accusations, the lack of sufficient evidence meant Noffel was not charged for the December 2012 incident and remained free. His ruthlessness was undeniable. The event involving Statiel and Bert was shocking enough, yet Noffel's name was also tied to the episode involving Samir Scarface in August 2014, adding to his fearsome reputation. Rumors swirl that Noffel, also known as Noffel, was present and likely played a role in the attempt on Samir's life at the Café All-in-One in Benahavas, Spain. Similar to the situation with Statiel and Bert, there wasn't enough evidence to hold Noffel accountable for his supposed involvement. Najib Himish, who was also at that meeting, mysteriously vanished shortly thereafter and has not been heard from since. Once more, fingers pointed at Noffel, suggesting he might have eliminated both individuals for Rico the Chilean, potentially shedding light on his connection with the Kinahans. An additional noteworthy episode linked to Noffel occurred with a man named Peter R. on November 5, 2015, in Deerman. Peter R., a versatile criminal frequently employed by some of Amsterdam's most significant underworld figures, encountered a shocking ordeal. On that day, he entered the gray Opel Antara belonging to his mother. The moment he ignited the engine and commenced his departure, a Volkswagen Golf aggressively approached him. From the vehicle, two assailants opened fire. Reacting instantly, Peter pressed the accelerator, maneuvering the car onto the sidewalk and through bushes, ultimately crashing into a small pond. Emerging from his car, he submerged himself underwater, remaining hidden until the gunfire ceased. Shortly after the turmoil subsided, local residents came to his aid, pulling him from the water. Despite being hit 6 times in the abdomen, he miraculously survived the assault. The investigation into this harrowing event eventually identified Karim S. Kiosi and Atif M as the driver and gunman. Particularly through scrutinizing Atif M, it became evident that Noffel was, yet again, the mastermind behind the operation. Displeased with the failed hit, Noffel demanded explanations from Atif M, as evidenced in their PGP messages. Noffel inquired if the police had seized the getaway car and questioned why it wasn't destroyed in a garage. Atif M's responses were meek, citing the lack of an alternate escape vehicle as the reason for not torching the car, assuring that they had cleaned the car thoroughly with ammonia to eliminate any traces. The motive behind Noffel's orders remains murky, though it's presumed to have been at the behest of another party. Adding another layer to an already complex narrative, Noffel is linked to a significant incident involving Ali Mohamed in Almere, Netherlands. Intriguingly, Ali Mohamed was not the person he purported to be. He was, in reality, Mohammad Reza Kolahi Samadi, an Iranian sentenced to death by the Iranian government for orchestrating the most devastating bombing in Iran's history on June 28, 1981, which claimed 73 lives. You might wonder, why would Noffel target such a person? The precise motive remains a mystery to this day. Was it a directive from the Iranian government? This question adds a layer of intrigue to the narrative. In the Netherlands, Mohammed worked as an electrician and, upon closer investigation, appeared unconnected to any criminal underworld activities. The Dutch Department of Justice has unequivocally stated that Noffel served as the go-between. The unraveling began with the seizure of Canadian servers utilized for encrypted messaging, revealing Noffel's communications. On November 15, 2015, he messaged Randall D., a notable figure in the Amsterdam criminal scene linked to several hits, indicating a new assignment. Noffel described the job ambiguously, mentioning only that the target was a Turkish guy in Almere in his 40s, driving a white van, and openly admitted his ignorance and indifference to the reason for the hit with a cold chuckle. He detailed the target's routine and informed Randall of the necessity to prepare a house in Almere for the shooters to lay low post-operation. However, their plans were abruptly halted just 10 days later. Randall D. was apprehended for orchestrating a hit on an Amsterdam criminal named Lucas Boom, who was closely linked to Willem Holleder, but that's a tale for another time. Noffel quickly sourced another pair for the task, Anwar A. and Moreo M. These two executed the mission in the early hours of December 15, 2015, and just like that, Mohammed was gone. The Dutch General Intelligence and Security Service harbored strong suspicions that the hit was orchestrated by the Iranian government, though conclusive evidence remained elusive. What's your take? Do you believe this was a directive from the Iranian government? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The Netherlands, particularly the quaint city of Urk, boasts a storied relationship with the sea, where fishermen venture into the waters aboard their vessels to earn their livelihood. However, these fishing boats had another, more clandestine use. Indeed, Noffel exploited them for cocaine trafficking. The intercepted PGP messages provided a window into this operation, with exchanges of cocaine brick images, discussions on pricing per kilogram, and intricate trafficking strategies among numerous other details. Noffel, in collaboration with two others, orchestrated this intricate smuggling operation. Here's the breakdown. Kilos of contraband would be loaded onto a cargo ship departing from South America, destined to pass by the Netherlands. Montenegrin accomplices aboard would maintain communication, sharing their maritime location. Approaching the designated spot, these accomplices would then jettison the cargo into the sea. Fishermen lying in wait would navigate towards these floating parcels, retrieve them, and transport them back to shore under the veil of night. One might wonder how these fishermen managed to locate the cargo in the pitch darkness of the open sea. The answer lies in the detailed instructions provided by one of the accomplices, who explained that the cargo was packed in black duffel bags, each containing 30 kilos. To ensure visibility, an empty 30-liter jerry can was tied to each duffel bag, along with 4 lights attached to ensure they were waterproof and visible. This method proved successful on multiple occasions over 2 years, yielding significant profits until law enforcement began to take notice. Police surveillance teams had been closely monitoring Mohammed S., Leendert R., Johannes N., often observing their gatherings in a parking lot. These observations raised suspicions, prompting increased surveillance with the anticipation that a significant operation was imminent. Their vigilance paid off in June 2017, when Johannes N. was apprehended with 216 kilos of contraband aboard, catching him in the act. After numerous successful operations, the Dutch Department of Justice started to suspect that Amsterdam's criminal networks had been leveraging Urk's fishermen for years to smuggle their merchandise. Noffel's saga took a dramatic and unexpected twist. Back in Amsterdam, he found himself in an increasingly precarious situation. His extensive list of adversaries and involvement in multiple contract killings meant that staying in the Netherlands was becoming untenable. Consequently, he sought refuge in Berlin, among other places, periodically. In the summer of 2015, an assassination team lay in wait for him, hoping to catch him during one of his routine coffee stops at a Berlin cafe, a habit he was known for. Fortuitously for Noffel, and to the frustration of his would-be assailants, he never revisited that cafe, forcing them to abandon their mission. However, before the criminal underworld could reach him, law enforcement did, but not the Amsterdam police. Instead, it was the Irish police who apprehended him, and this encounter was entirely coincidental. Recall his connection to the Kinahan family? The Kinahans were embroiled in a vicious rivalry with the formidable Hutch gang. The residence where Noffel was found had long served as a haven for the Kinahan clan members, placing him directly in the crosshairs of this ongoing conflict. During a police raid on April 7, 2016, aimed at apprehending a member of the Kinahan family, authorities were taken aback to instead discover Noffel. The officers were not expecting to encounter a man of North African descent. Noffel presented them with a Dutch passport bearing the name Omar and a Belgian ID card, leading them to initially identify him merely as Omar. Despite the confusion, he was detained, and it was only after his fingerprints were sent to Interpol that the situation became crystal clear. This individual was not Omar but Naoufal F., a notorious criminal sought by Amsterdam law enforcement. The Irish prosecutors sentenced him to a brief term for possessing false identity documents. Upon completing this sentence, Noffel was extradited back to the Netherlands, where he faced far graver charges. Initially targeted for lesser offenses such as money laundering and association with an organized crime group, the scope of allegations against him rapidly expanded to include his role in various assassinations, acts of violence, his key position in profitable smuggling operations, among other crimes. Ultimately, Noffel was handed a life sentence. The judge's ruling was unequivocal. Noffel F. posed a significant threat to public safety and was therefore permanently barred from re-entering society. Share your thoughts and feedback in the comments section below. If you found my investigative analysis insightful, please be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the Pursuit of Perpetrators channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon too, so you'll get notified each time I release a new video. I appreciate your support and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Until then, stay curious and keep seeking truth.